Peace, family. We got another long short. We out here having fun today, man. I got off work, I was beat. Came in the garden, I feel rejuvenated. I know my eyes don't appear to be, but I'm feeling good. But I got another long short for you. Just want to show you something real quick. Follow me, follow me. I got a problem. I got a strange addiction. Somebody help me. I need an intervention. It ain't alcohol or weed. There's just one thing that I need. I got an addiction to fruit trees. I got an addiction to fruit trees. I take a persimmon to breathe. Hey, the next one I'm getting jujube. Got an addiction to fruit trees. All right, so this is my annual bed. This is one of my annual beds. It's got this delicious lettuce that we've been eating on, growing here. We got my hosta growing here. I planted tomato. I think this one was may have been the creme. I think the creme is that one right there. And right here in the middle, this little nubby nub here, this, believe it or not, is a Ronde Bordeaux fig tree. Now this is it was a cutting that I purchased online, and I rooted it over the winter. And I know it looks kind of pitiful when I hardened it off. So let's get that out the way. I did go through the process of hardening it off, and it did fine. And then when I planted it, after a few days, it started kind of getting stressed out. All the beautiful leaves turned black, and, well, not completely black, but dark brown, and it fell off. But it's doing fine because she's bouncing back. She's got new growth on her. So she's doing okay. Sometimes, like, you know, I found when you transplant your fig trees, and if you got a way to transplant that avoids, you know, the stress, please let me know, you know, and then I'll do it different the next time. But in my experience, they still sometimes get stressed out. But 9 times out of 10, if you harden them off first, even when they get stressed out and shed their leaves, they will come back. But I want to show you something you can do to kind of give it even a better chance of coming back, you know, if it does get stressed out. So let's take a look at something else. All right, so this one is another one that we rooted. This is the honey plum fig. And as you can see, the leaves are getting dark. We hardened it off as well. And actually, I think we let this one sit out a lot longer than the Ronde Bordeaux before we transplanted it. But it's growing, it's got new growth on it. So it's fine, she'll be fine. But what we did to give it a better chance of bouncing back was cover the stem, excuse me. I was looking at something behind me, but we covered the stem with parafilm. Now the reason that I say that that's a good idea is because that parafilm keeps it from drying out. I had last year when I transplanted a bunch, and I had a few that did completely dry out and didn't make it. But the parafilm keeps the moisture in, it keeps it from drying out. And as long as you can keep it from drying out, that gives it more time to really acclimate and start giving you new growth. Here's another honey plum fig that we transplanted. So you see this leaf right here is dark. This one, the leaf still looks good, but the stem is a little dark. It's stressed. But all of these leaves here, this is new. These are new healthy leaves. And it's growing some down here, excuse me, let me show you. Down here at the base as well. But again, we covered it with parafilm, you know, to try to keep moisture in, because, you know, I remembered that some of mine dried out last year, and I didn't want that to be a factor this year. So we covered it in parafilm, and that will give it, more of a chance to bounce back, produce healthy leaves, and then get strong for years to come. Yeah, so if you have fig tree cuttings that you rooted, or even, say mulberry, whatever you can root from a cutting, but I would especially say fig trees, get some parafilm. I used to be like, man, I don't need no stinking parafilm. I was anti-parafilm just because I felt like everybody talks about parafilm, blah, 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 blah. But when I started using that parafilm in the fall and winter, when I was rooting my cuttings, I started seeing the benefits of it. And then, just in transplanting, seeing the difference that it makes. I'm a believer. So get some parafilm. You can get them in strips, cheap, like online, like eBay or whatever. But if you're doing transplants, get some parafilm. But like I said, if you have suggestions on minimizing like the stress that these cuttings go through, especially like the fig cuttings, because my mulberries I didn't have that issue with. It was just the fig cuttings. Let me know in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate that because, like I said before, I don't know everything. I really don't know nothing. So any information is helpful information. All right, family, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.